They're changing plans all over the place, cancellations like crazy. Everybody's staying
They're
in.
canceling schools tomorrow because of the cold.
I'm not, that's fine. Like, and kids who walk, like, I'm not saying that. Schools can make that decision. But I think private businesses get hurt, man. This is kind of it's the weekend, right? It's a big weekend. All these places are closing down. I think we can make our own decision as free people in Erie, Pennsylvania, who are used to winter. And it just bothers me. Like, and the longer we go, Joel, the worse it gets. As technology gets better, the worse we get with our
I'm convinced we know too much.
Right, we're crying wolf about how bad this thing is. And I think if you live in Nashville, you'd probably a good idea to stay home. But in Erie, Pennsylvania, how many people stayed home and didn't go out to eat on restaurant week or whatever is going on?
It's true.
And there's a lot of it. And I think we're doing a disservice to ourselves in this community, a lakefront community used to this type of weather, and it bothers me a bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for the soapbox.
We've changed all the warnings, things that used to be, wind chill warning is now cold weather warning. I mean, they've just kind of messed everybody up, and
it's okay. It's going to be minus 28 overnight or whatever, right? With a wind chill. Okay.
It's be cold.
Like, cool. I want to know that. Like, that's important. I want to know that. But to say that essentially the world is ending, it's just telling everyone to stay home. I don't. That's not their job.
No, adults should be able to make their own decisions.
I think so. And I want to know if it snows or not. If you think it's going to snow a lot, that's important. But it's like, it's entertainment, Joel. The weather's become entertainment. How many people watch the news for the weather? Many.
We've been doing this for 40 years. How many senior citizens used to watch the Weather Channel scroll when Cablevision first came online?
I understand, but who did weather? Shirley Ramsey?
Shirley Ramsey, Vance McBride, yeah.
Right? Was it like this? Did they tell people not to go out?
No.
I can't. We were young, I guess. I mean, the 70s it was pretty snowy.
Yeah, I mean, if working in broadcasting, chief engineer always had a four-wheeler. They come pick up the disc jockeys. You had to be at K104 no matter what.
Oh, I understand that. Yeah, we found a way. But 10 inches of snow over 24 hours in Erie, Pennsylvania does not warrant a weather warning, right? It does not.
No.
It's winter.
Yeah.
And when you tell people there's a warning, I think people change their behavior, and I think the trend has changed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think you riled people up already.
I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to rip anybody locally. I don't mean that. I understand it. I appreciate what they do.
Now my phone board is all full.
I apologize. But it's an important topic.
It is. All right. We're going to go quickly because Dino's got everybody riled up. Go ahead. You're live on Talk Erie.
I just knew this was going to be a weather talk show today. But anyhow, we have a governor who declared a state of emergency, not even knowing if we were going to get snow. Mm. We have the people right here locally on the weather telling us, how to strap our boots up and make sure we wear an extra jacket. And, it's just all crazy. But anyhow, I got some blockbuster breaking news.
Go for it, Bill.
And then I'll hang up. So anyhow, it looks like ICE and Border Patrol are going to be pulling some of their people out of Minnesota.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's a big story right there, right? We can't have these people going around assassinating people. So I don't know what kind of deal was made. I find it very hard to believe that Tim Walz would make any kind of arrangement with Donald Trump. I mean, Walz had to step down from re-election because of Trump and the fraud going on in Minnesota. He accused him of being directly part of it. So I don't know what the story is. We do know that Trump, he went out with what he's good at and put something out on social media, but we also know that Trump lies. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But, Dino, I appreciate you bringing up the weather, brother.
Thanks, man. We'll see you. Bye. Let's go quick. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie with Dean.
Hey, I'm with you, Dean.
Thanks, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We used to call it winter. Now it's an extreme cold alert. I mean, just dress for it. It's really crazy. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to talk, too, about this assassination of people in Minnesota. If you wanted to set yourself up for suicide, that's what you do. You go and interfere with ICE, they are law enforcement. Tim Walz says they're not law enforcement. That kind of rhetoric is going to cause riots and burning and everything. If it was summer, things would be burning already. Guarantee it. When you start, you know, and then make an analogy, using the analogy of Anne Frank, and basically he's calling Trump a Nazi. It's against the law. We had 4 years of waiving immigration laws. You know, nobody knows how many millions. It's somewhere between 10 and 20 million people, illegals. And I guess that's okay if you're a Trump hater. Anyhow, I'll let you go.
All right, thanks for the call. Yeah. Appreciate it. Let's keep going. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie. Oh, are you there? Hello.
Yeah. Hey.
Go ahead.
Back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, they had a gentleman, restaurateur in town, Mr. Leonard, I think it was. He was mentioning that when he was down south in Maryland, D.C. area, they actually had sued the weather channels, the weather programs down there, because they would actually say it's supposed to be rainy and crappy and all this stuff downtown. So nobody would go downtown and go to dinner and everything else. So all the restaurateurs got together in their association, sued the weather people and said, hey, instead of saying it's going to be partly cloudy, say it's partly sunny. And they won their case because they looked back at it, at the number of times that they were wrong, and they were just screwing the restaurateurs downtown.
All right.
And he had a couple restaurants up here as well, and he said the same thing. They got to get it right, or else we pay for it.
That's a good point. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. One more call here. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, I want to call Dean's attention to the city of Erie postponing their garbage pickup one day because of the extreme cold.
Oh, really? Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, and if there's additional callers out there that are aware of this, call in. Don't take my word for it.
No, we had this news story at the top of the show. Yep, you're right. Go ahead.
Okay, but one of the things that I worry about is McKinley School, Piper Burley, and in the mornings when these kids are walking to school, these little ones under 10 years of age, they don't have boots. They're not properly dressed. So I personally, in these cold weather events that we have, when the temperature is 15, 16 degrees, I would close the elementary schools in the city. So, because I don't know about these parents sending their kids to walk, I don't care if it's a block or 5 blocks to school without proper attire. It's just sad when you see it.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
And could I...
Go ahead, real quick.
I just want to... Real quick. Tom Homan, the border czar, doesn't want to send his people to places where the local law enforcement doesn't assist them. He wants to put his people in those red states, those red areas where he gets support by the law enforcement. And he's argued and disagreed with Trump by doing this political BS where he wants to punish Tim Walz or anything. Tom Homan doesn't. Tom Homan just wants to get the job done.
Yeah. Great point. I appreciate it, man. Take care. Bye-bye. What about that? I mean, Trump is specifically sending Holman to Minnesota and it sounds like is trying to negotiate with Walz about simmering things down. It's horrific. It's a mess.
Well, I can tell you what that's about. I mean, do you think today, all of a sudden, those two individuals, Donald Trump and Tim Walz, decided to get together and do the right thing? Is that what people think? I think that it's this, the Trump administration is hearing about it. I think generally people don't like it. I think most people don't like what they saw Saturday. We can get into it. That's fine. I'm just telling you politically, the Trump administration is hearing that this isn't getting traction as far as a popular issue in the country. It just isn't. That there's no other reason that Donald Trump's going to have a conversation with Tim Walz and essentially give him what he wants. Yeah. If in fact that's the case, I've only seen the headline, heard what people said here today. So if they are actually pulling out, and for whatever reason, the last caller's probably right, they want to go where they have cooperation. I get it, but Trump's cooperating allegedly. If all of this is true, it's for political reasons and not testing very well.
Right.
Polling-wise, it's not.
And here's the thing: the Minnesota folks, their own law enforcement, have been prosecuting the fraud now, literally for months, if not years. Again, whether it's to the level and liking of the folks that are in MAGA country, that's one thing. But there are prosecutions, there are convictions, there's sentencing. There's a lady in jail over that feeding families, feeding children thing. I mean, so they've been, this fraud deal. I actually did some research on whether or not the Minneapolis Star-Tribune was covering the fraud. They've been covering it for 10 years. This is a well-known thing, but somehow, a young YouTuber goes around and, gets retweeted by Elon, and he's got 100 million views on his videos, and all of a sudden it's a thing. Well, Minnesota people have known about it for years, and they're just creating narratives that may or may not be grounded in fact.
But the fraud looks like it's real.
Oh, there's a lot of fraud going on, but it's been going on for a while, and it's been prosecuted for a while.
Well, and I have a federal government that takes an interest. Somebody like Tim Walz running for president, right, becomes so high profile. All these things happen. So sure. I wonder if Mr. Walz regrets his decision.
Of pulling out, or
of going on the VP ticket. I mean,
gosh, yeah, that's right.
To me, it's where all of this potentially starts. No, pulling out, he had no choice, I think. So the fraud issue plays very well politically, but I'm not sure the ICE issue right now, what has gone on with the 2 deaths in Minneapolis, are playing well with most of the country. That's the reality, and I suspect that's why you saw this conversation occur today. I'm not saying whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just saying politically. Only one reason the Trump administration is having that conversation, and that would be it.
It is on a political level. Okay. You're probably right. Let's go to the break here. Callers online, hang on. We'll have more time ahead here, but we got to take our break here on Talk Erie. Talk Erie on a Monday. It's Dean Pepicello with us here. All right, Dino. Obviously, people are up in arms over Minneapolis, and It does again. The current this afternoon reporting is Trump talked to Walz, and there's maybe going to be some kind of turning down the dial. You can't really put 3,000 federal officers in a city that size, 3 times as large as Minneapolis MPD. It just needs to change.
You saying that as a?
I'm saying that as an opinion that they're not getting the desired results, and in fact, they're getting. I mean, it's horrific what has happened there. I mean,
you're not putting credibility in the argument of, hey, you have a right to carry a weapon, not necessarily to use it in the course of protesting.
Here's the dilemma there.
Or
basically, you're carrying a weapon, but you're in the middle of a enforcement action. That just doesn't. It's a formula for disaster and
that it is.
Tragedy.
I think this. Does anybody? I think most people think Donald Trump's making an example of Minneapolis, right, and Minnesota, and there's a large presence there. But there are ICE all over this country, and there don't seem to be issues elsewhere. But do I think he has set out to make an example of these people, to make a fool of Jacob Fry and Tim Walz and the state of Minnesota, as liberal as it is? Yeah. I think Donald Trump, the Trump administration, the feds have probably made that decision. At the same time, it is a fact, Joel, that the media is winding these people up. Democratic politicians are winding these people up. And it sure looks now, and I don't know the technology, there's some sort of app that's telling these people where ICE agents are. They're blowing whistles. If you look at some of the video, not of the shooting.
They're calling them rapid response networks.
Yes.
They just built one in Crawford County.
Okay, so
I'm surprised there wouldn't be one in Erie County.
So the ICE agents are detaining someone. Not the guy who got shot, but they're detaining someone. They have him on the ground. They're handcuffing this probably a legit criminal. I don't know. Regardless. And these people are running up to these agents who are working to detain this person and firing bottles of frozen water at them. They're throwing them at their head and everything else. They're literally attacking these people trying to do their job. I don't. It's a concerted effort. And again, I will tell you, these people are pawns. The woman who got run over is a pawn. She is a pawn of the app, the rapid response, a pawn of the Democratic politicians there, and of the media. They are winding these people up. They think it's a game. I'm telling you this. They think it's a political game. How they don't understand there are consequences for their actions.
Who is winding them up? Who is the puppet master?
Liberal media in the area, liberal national media. Tim Walz told them to resist. He's the governor of the state. Wouldn't you resist? That's what I think. This is a coordinated effort to do what they're doing. Listen, you don't think they've gone too far?
What, the protesters?
Yes.
Yeah, if you breach from protesting to interrupting enforcement, that's a different animal. But that also means that you shouldn't fear for your life if you do an act of civil disobedience. Or even uncivil
was
disobedience.
Renee Good civil disobedience?
Well, I mean, there is a case to be made that she was using that vehicle as a weapon. I mean, again, this has to be sorted out in the courts. I mean, that's our system is due process. I mean, we weren't there.
Yeah, I don't like individual episodes to comment on because I don't know. Yeah. All of a sudden, you think you have an opinion, and then you see 4 more angles, and now you have a totally different opinion, and you weren't there.
That officer did not have the benefit of slow motion and 4 angles, but
here's how you. So,
why would the impulse be pulling a gun and shooting it?
I think that's another reason maybe you're seeing the conversation today. But you can't go fire frozen water bottles at people that are trying to do their job. How you get change in this country generally is you protest loudly, and then you do it at the ballot box. There were conservatives or whoever didn't like open borders right, for 4 years.
Right,
and we
yeah.
had that. And at a minimum, I think we're looking at 8 million people. They didn't rush the border and have rapid responses and arrest these people themselves or whatever, start firing smoke bombs at Border Patrol to do their job. It was that was the administration made that decision, right? But they protested loudly on forums like this, and then went to the ballot box and voted for the person who said they were going to close the borders. That's how you get change.
Right.
I just think they've gone way too far. Some of the protesters, way too far. Do I think Trump's trying to send a message to? Yes, I think both of those things can be true at the same time. But is there a middle ground? You would think. I thought there'd be middle ground after Renee Good, but we're
Me
not.
too, yeah.
What I saw Saturday is no middle ground. These
No.
people continue to think. To me, this is a game. How many people are going to have to die before these people realize, man, maybe I ought to stand on the sidewalk with my sign and scream and then vote accordingly?
It's unreal. I know there's a lot of people that want to call. We are up against the bottom of the hour news. Send me a text or leave a comment in the Facebook feed. We are talking to Dean Pepicello here, and I literally have got to go to the break here. Maybe I can sneak one call of somebody who's been waiting a long time. I've got 30 seconds, caller. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, Dean, you're spot on there.
Thank you.
ICE is in 50 states. All right, they just did it in Memphis. As long as you've got cooperation, you're fine. It's the governors, the mayors, and that are causing this problem, and it's the media. The media, if you actually watch, I've told Joe for a few weeks here, look at Live News Fox. They have feeds, and they go to all the different events going on.
I appreciate it. I got to roll. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's so hard to pin it all down. We've got news next. Thanks for tuning in. Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. Obviously, as we talk about Minneapolis, it is just creating all kinds of problems on a political basis for the Republicans in the midterms. I mean, basically, the unrest, the everything that gets people dissatisfied with the direction of the country bodes poorly for what the Republicans want to accomplish. Would you agree or disagree?
Politically, I think that's the case. You see, James. I'm looking for James Carville's comments. He's calling 26 midterms. It would be a wipeout for the Democrats. That's his prediction already. And I suspect
the Democrats will wipe out
Republic. That's what James Carville's saying. And I get he's a Democratic operative, but anybody who's seen interviews with him, he's not afraid to be critical of his own party.
Sure, absolutely.
I suspect he has plenty of polling information. You're seeing more and more trends this way. Mm-hmm. All but 3 midterms since Abraham Lincoln have gone to the party out of power. So I think the Trump administration is very aware that they have an issue here with midterms. They're going to do a midterm convention or something. Did I hear that? Yeah. So they're going to rallies. Still has to do something. Elections are won and lost domestically. It's doubt. Simply that. And right now they are not winning the war on affordability. They're not. I get that it's a Democratic term, right? Trump has complained. The Democrats. This is the way politics is. But they are not winning the war on affordability.
When you think about, when Reagan, won in 80, again, I'm talking about a million years ago, I get it. But by 84, even though, unemployment was still in double digits and so on, he was able to say it's morning in America. If for Trump to get to the second half of his second term without basically having constant investigations and impeachment proceedings, he needs to get people feeling good about America. And right now, whether it's fair or not fair, it's just a lot of negativity going on. It's a heaviness that people are feeling.
MAGA feels good about it. I think he's been able to sell that. But I
don't think MAGA feels good about what they're seeing on TV, though.
In Minneapolis,
right?
No, probably true for enough of a majority to change an election. Yes, but I think it's the people who, I think it's the conservative Democrats, right? And maybe people that hadn't come out. Like all these, there's such a slim margin that the Republicans will need to hold to win many of these elections, and they're in jeopardy of them right now. People aren't comfortable right now. I think your description is accurate, Joel. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Again, your description is right. The way people feel right now.
Just quick fact check. You actually saw a video of frozen bottles being thrown at ICE officers. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. No doubt.
Okay. Let's grab this. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie.
Hi. When you talk about affordability, I think part of the problem is with the sanctuary cities living and giving driver's license to people that aren't citizens of the United States. It's trouble because now we have enhanced licenses that cost more money. We've got all kinds of things that cost more money because we've given illegals all these extra privileges that they never should have gotten. And it makes everything cost more. It makes taxes go up. How can we afford to give all this housing and medical and food to illegals that we've got people on the streets that are actually U.S. citizens that aren't getting anything? I've got a broken tooth, and it's like I got to pay $1,200 to get it
fixed. Get extracted, yeah.
And I've got insurance, but I still got to take $1,200 out of my pocket.
Yeah,
it's crazy, All
right, thanks.
The affordability problem is.
You're saying that it is because, I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I appreciate you weighing in. Thanks so much. What about turning this around? What needs to happen here? Will some conciliation with the folks on the ground in Minnesota help? It's as seems to be the reporting this afternoon.
maybe. I think I've said here before, again, I'm not here to advise the Trump administration, but I think a better play might have been, people would disagree, probably a better play, I should say politically, would have been close the border, very popular, right? Probably the main reason you got elected. Close the border, let's chase down some really, really, really bad guys, right? And let's do it fairly quietly, and then let's make a big deal of it. How many people are actually being deported? Like, I haven't seen one story on who's actually getting deported. How many people have they actually captured and deported from Minneapolis? Or maybe they're in prison, I don't know. Like, I don't see any reports.
Right, there's a few, it's been like a handful.
If there's, again, if there's 10 million where are the 9,900,000? Like, where are they? Are we not chasing them? Are we only going, like, I don't see a coherent strategy right now on this thing. I'd love to know, where are all these people? Because I think the strategy, if he had said, we're going to close the border and we're going to fix this, it'd been very popular. Deport a few bad guys, and then what? Maybe they back off the rest of the stuff. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do from a safety standpoint, but I think politically it would have played very well. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not saying it's the right thing, but would have played great. Now he's chosen not to do that. Now he's got to deal with this, and it isn't polling very well. It isn't, and I get it. It shouldn't probably, right? Yeah. But that's what they're dealing with. So I think to that extent, maybe if it calms down, but it's going to look like a loss for Trump. Waltz will go out and they'll say, look, we forced these ICE agents out.
Right,
and it'll look like him. I mean, he's going to take a political thumping if that's the case. So he's put himself kind of in a poor political position.
Americans have such short attention spans. If the stock market booms, or
stock market is booming,
which is booming. I mean, if we see another click down in what things cost, maybe in inflation or whatever, does that just get this whole thing off the dime? I mean, I'm wondering. Again, we're almost to February. You're talking about primaries in a couple months, and a general election in November.
Right.
That's going to come really fast.
It is. They need an improvement on affordability and the economy at home quickly. They need it. There's no. You talk to any average person on the street right now, they're going to say that.
All right, I got to clear up this ice bottle thing.
Okay.
It wasn't Alex who was throwing ice bottles, correct?
No.
My God.
No, sorry.
Everybody's misinterpreting.
Oh, I'm sorry if I didn't. No,
it's
it wasn't that person.
other video of ice bottles being thrown at.
It had nothing to do with that.
Federal law enforcement.
It had nothing to do with that person or the shooting. Nothing.
Okay.
It wasn't the person being detained. No.
Everybody relax. Here you go. Hi, you're live. I got to go quick. Go ahead, Phil.
Oh, I didn't know you have to go quick. All right. Quickly, I'm sorry I'm calling in so late. I just heard a little bit today. I was very busy at work. But the whole thing in Minneapolis, I think I may have said this a few weeks ago, and if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. Let's just call it a conservative number right now, 10 million people into this country, and they gaslit us for 4 years and said the border was safe. What are you guys talking about? There's no problem there. Meyer Okus got on the whatever his name was on the Meet the Press every Sunday. He said, what are you guys talking about? There's nobody crossing. And we're all watching the videos, right? So you let 10 million people in this country, and you got two choices. We either got to clean this up or just look the other way and say, well, I guess that's the way it goes. To Dean's point, I believe ICE enforcement is going on in 23 states right now. No problems. Why? Because law enforcement is cooperating. Now we go up to Minneapolis. That governor, whatever you think of this buffoon there, I made my thoughts clear, he's lost control of the state. I believe if you're the governor, word gets thrown around a lot, congressman, governor, you're kind of in charge of the welfare of your state. Aren't you supposed to be like the safety and welfare of your people should be at the top of your mind? And the funny part is, and I'll end with this, I guess, isn't it ironic that they find billions of dollars of fraud up there, and they're fighting it the hardest? Just very interesting. Either Portland, Maine, or the state of Maine, it might be the same thing. 90% white, but over like 200 Medicare aid stations have been opened up there by immigrants. Here we go again.
All right. I appreciate it, man.
They're flooding the field. They're flooding the field.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye-bye. Hi, you're live on Talk Here. I got to go super fast.
Super fast. Cloward and Piven, they're overwhelming the situation and all that because they're trying to hide the fraud, and they're paying these people to be martyrs. They may not be that bright, or they're really caught up in the empathy, but 70 million people voted for Trump to clean the house. He says we're going to deport people. If you're here illegally, that's the law you broke. Oh, and you're a rapist, and you're a pedophile, and all this other stuff, even better, get you out first.
All right.
Yeah, that's the end game. If we start the mamby-pamby, oh, he's doing it mean. You know what? Get out of the face of ICE. Stay in your lane, and there's no chaos. It's really that easy.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Got to go. Hey, you're live on Talk Erie. Are you there? Hello. You're on. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie. I got to go real quick.
Okay, I just wanted to say that they should use water cannons in Minneapolis. I think that would take care of it really fast. Also, I think for the kids that are walking to school and that are not prepared, it's their father or their mother's problem. The parents know you live in Erie, you got to have winter clothes, and kids, you got to wear them. You got to have your coat zipped, you got to have your hat on. And it's a learning process. They want to get sick, they want to get wet feet. It's the kid, especially if they're a fourth or fifth grade, should know by now that this is supposed to be done. You got to have your boots on, listen to your parents, and there's free clothes all around. You could go to Salvation Army, Goodwill, anywhere to get cheap clothes. And just be prepared for the winter for Erie.
Thanks for weighing in. Appreciate it. One more call real quick. I've got 30 seconds. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, just in numbers, I just want to know if anybody ever put a trace on the planes, the plane full of young women that were brought in Erie for a couple days. The whole Erie community was going to help them and stuff, and they shuffled them off to wherever. Where did they go?
I'm not sure even Mike Kelly got to the bottom of that.
I don't know if he did either, but I wish somebody had an answer because I don't like what the outcome for those women would have been.
Yeah, so, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. All right, Dino, that's the extent of the calls here. The bottom line is, again, it's an existential threat for the president and for the administration to just get blown out in November.
He doesn't want that.
He doesn't want that.
No sitting president does.
At some point, he's got to figure out how to get the country happy again.
Well, yes. They tried through redistricting was the first round, which whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, I think he does have to change the mood. I suspect that was the conversation in the White House today. I think it was a hard conversation, probably with Susie Wild or whatever her name is. Hey, Donald, dude, this isn't working, right? It's not going well. I get it. I get what you're doing. We support you, blah, 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 but this is not working. You need to start thinking about the midterms. So I suspect that's where you'll see them go here over the next couple of months.
Real quick, Josh Shapiro's everywhere. He's, I think the book comes out tomorrow, maybe. And
book where he told Kamala Harris to pound salt.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I mean, really, really strong words between the two there. He's obviously has that trajectory to the White House. At least he's trying. How does that leave him vulnerable to a Stacey Garrity basically pegging him as this guy doesn't want to be your governor, he wants to be president?
Today, I would say no. By November, maybe. But I don't think he's in that type of crisis at this point. I think if he polled today, it wouldn't be close. And people like Josh Shapiro, they just do. I know many of us aren't one of them, but people do. So today, I don't think he's in danger. But that race will tighten as it gets closer. I said that Stacey Garrity is a tremendous candidate.
Yeah.
He runs the risk of focusing too much on potentially running for president. And the more he does that, the more she will use it against him. So
is it smart that she's going to run unopposed in the primary? Sometimes the primary sharpens a candidate, yet it also sucks resources.
Yeah, she's already run a statewide campaign. She's the best candidate. She's going to beat anybody anyways, probably. So sometimes the answer is yes. In this case, no. She's going to need every resource she can get at this point. She knows how to win a statewide race.
Do you think she'll get a ton of support from Erie County? I mean, how does that look in November?
Erie County. I don't know, because I don't know what's in store yet in that race. She's got a lot
You
of
think
work
there'll
to do.
be some?
Today, I would say Shapiro wins, but by November, it might be a different case. It might be that race will tighten, but she's got work to do. He's very popular. He just is.
Yeah.
Now, does he get distracted by wanting to run for president and start to campaign as somebody who's worried about being president instead of governor? That would be a problem. But there's a lot to unfold in this race yet. A lot. But she's got a ways to go.
And no surprises anywhere on the locals, like any of our state reps. I mean, that we don't have.
Are they running again?
Yeah, they run again every 2 years.
That is brutal.
Isn't that brutal?
I've heard nothing.
I mean, you have it great because you've got every 6 years.
I know. These people are stupid.
Thank you, Dino.
You bet. Thanks, guys.